And the first month of the season has come to an end, and our Atlanta Braves are sitting at 14-8 on the season so far, which is good enough for second place in the National League East. They are a half game behind the New York Mets, who are sitting in first place. Washington Nationals behind us. I believe the Nationals. It might be the Marlins and then the Nationals. I don't know. I don't have the standings in front of me. But it doesn't matter because it is the month of April. It's the first month of the season. Things are going to change. Teams are going to heat up. The real contenders will eventually show up. The pretenders are going to fade away. Teams cool off. Teams heat up. It's the first month of the season. The standings are going to change, the players' stats are going to change, and we're going to go over them nonetheless. So first things first, the Rookie of the Month for the month of April was our right fielder in James Cornelius. He batted .267 with 2 home runs and 10 ribbies in 75 at-bats in the month of April, which secured him Rookie of the Month. As far as league leaders on our teams, on the hitting side of things, we really only have guys in the stolen base category, with Ender Inciarte leading the National League in stolen bases, which is just odd for him because he usually doesn't steal bases, but I guess he's doing it this year because we have a few more speed demons on the team. So Inciarte, he's first with 9, and then Leon Fenn is 7th with 5 on the team, the rookie left fielder. On the pitching side of things, there's Julio Teheran, who has a .78 ERA, which is the best ERA in the National League. And then, of course, there is Aaron Blair, who spent all of last season in AAA because we just didn't have any room for him in the rotation. He gets called up this year. He's in the rotation, and he is showing that he belongs so far through 1 month with a 1.64 ERA, which is good enough for 4th in the National League. As far as the rest of our pitching goes, of course, there's the rookie Petey Payton, our 5th starter. He is the left-handed rookie, and as of 1 month of the season, in 18 2/3 innings, he has a 5.79 ERA, which is not good, obviously, but it's only through 18 2/3 innings pitched. So I'm not just going to give up on him after 1 month. If he turns it around in May, good. If not, then we'll probably make a decision on if we want to send him down or not. So Pete Payton, right now, he's just struggling, but I mean, he's a rookie. He's never really had any major league playing time. Hopefully he'll be able to turn it around and we won't have to send him down. And then taking a look at our bullpen, we have David Robertson, who was our closer the past season. We brought him back in the offseason. I wasn't sure if we were going to, but the one thing we wanted to do in the offseason was improve our bullpen, but there was just nobody available for relievers or closers in the offseason, so we decided to just bring back David Robertson so we can at least keep what we have. And he had like a 4+ ERA last year despite being our closer, and I just didn't feel confident with him being the closer anymore because he's gotten off to a poor start this year, so we dropped him down to like a setup man role, 7th, 8th, whatever inning I feel like, because him and Vizcaino will just trade innings based on whoever I feel like that game. And then the 9th inning belongs to Raisel Iglesias, who has a 2.31 ERA. He had a good season last year. He gave up a couple home runs in the postseason last year, but hopefully he is able to be a solid closer for us, the guy we traded for from the Reds last season. I mean, if this was like an actually like realistic game and I was able to do this, I would just have a closer by committee. I would just have Vizcaino, Robertson, and Iglesias just close out whatever games based on matchups, based on whoever's hot. Just a closer by committee. I think that's the best way to go about it, especially when you have multiple guys that are good enough to be closers. But you can't do that, so instead we have Iglesias as the set closer. And as far as who would replace Pete Payton if he struggles in the month of May and we decide to send him down, that would probably be Cyrus Hirsch. He is a AAA starting pitcher right now, a 3.74 ERA, but he is on a hot streak, so he is heating up in the month of April. He's got 23 strikeouts and 21 in the 2/3 innings pitched. So if Pete Payton does continue to struggle, it will be Cyrus Hirsch taking over for him. But as of right now, Pete Payton is the number 5 starter. And through April, Travis Demeritte was our backup infielder. We didn't really have a set backup like second base shortstop player. It was just Demeritte. We didn't really have a guy who could play short. I was just hoping that if the shortstop needed a rest, we could shift Albies over to second and then just play whoever's there at second. But it can't really do that. So Demeritte is going to go down to AAA to play every day. If we possibly need somebody later on in the season, he'll be probably the first guy to call up. But as of right now, he is sent down to AAA so he can play every day. He's hitting like a 400 in AAA. To take his place as the backup second base / shortstop, while Rio Ruiz is the backup corner infielder. is Eric Stamets. He was a guy we signed last season to be in our organization. He's like an MLB-ready, late 20s guy. He's not going to get any better. He's the guy we can just stash on the bench and just play whenever we need to. So Eric Stamets is our backup middle infielder. We also sent down Dustin Peterson, who just didn't really do too much in the month of April. And I also wanted to get a guy who was fast on our bench in the outfield as our second outfielder on the bench, because we don't really have anybody who's fast. So whenever I wanted a pinch runner late in the game, it was like, you want a 54 speed guy? You want a 57 speed guy? So Teoscar Hernandez, he's got some pretty decent wheels, so we called him up to be our second outfielder on the bench. Hopefully he is able to produce at the major league level, not playing every day, obviously, but being a bench outfielder and like pinch runner type player, because he was performing in AAA for us, and hopefully he's able to get it done at the major leagues, because that was what I traded for him for, and hopefully he can do it now that we're in 2020. But with that being said, it's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Atlanta Braves franchise. The April recap is coming to a finish, and we are heading into the month of May now. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.